I'm Jared Deenda, and this is Snap-on Tools Great Garages. We're here in Indianapolis, Indiana to check out a longtime partner of Snap-on Tools, two-time Nitro Funny Car champion, Cruz Pedregon. Cruz, what's up, man?
Hey, man.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
So we're at your facility. Pedregon Racing has been around a long time. You, your brother, even your dad. If you could, give us a history of Pedregon Racing.
Well, my dad started it all, and he retired at a young age, so we kind of took it up as a hobby, just being fans. That later led to racing ourselves on a local level and sprung into where we're at now. And yeah, I look forward to showing you guys around a little bit today.
Yeah, seen a lot of Wallies here, accolades. What are some of the accolades you have over the years of racing?
If I count my alcohol drag racing days, I have over 40 national event wins. We kind of try to have a little bit of what Tony did, because he helped build the building. We did everything 50-50. Yeah. He's now since moved out, which gives us a little bit more room, as you'll see later. And then we have a wall for my dad. My dad's career, like I said, it was short but sweet, and heck of a career. He had a Fiat coupe that burned the tires going down the track and ran over 200 back in the 60s.
Your relationship with Snap-on Tools has been going for some time. You've had different sponsors over the years, but Snap-on is your title sponsor for numerous years, and that relationship, you've done a great job of curating that.
I had been affiliated with Snap-on for 15 years prior to that through my other racing as an associate sponsor. So when they decided to go big time in the primary sponsorship, it was great because we took that and we've kind of grown it. We've grown the hospitality side of it a little bit. We've had some great wins, some big wins, and we've set some records. So it's a great relationship. I love meeting all the franchisees, visiting them on Thursdays before each and every race. And I actually went and we did SFC here recently, so it was kind of cool after so many years to get to know some of these guys by name. And good company, well run, and I just am glad to be a part of it.
How is the shop broken up?
Really what we have is the race team side. When they pull the rigs in, we want to be able to emulate the pit area. So we have a little pad where we put the car, and we have an area in the back, and then we have our area where we do some fab work on the other side. With a funny car, as you've seen, you know, they'll blow off the car once in a while, so you need to have bodies ready to go. So we built a specific table to actually allow us to mount these bodies ourselves, do it kind of in-house to keep the quality control, I guess.
How many people do you have on your team?
Total, we have about 15 people, and that bookkeepers to the PR people and managers, and so there's a lot, 10 that go on the road with us. It's very labor intensive. You know, these engines are very high maintenance, which is where Snap-on Tool comes into play. But it's great. It's a lot of excitement here, and look forward to showing you guys all the shop.
All right, Cruz, we're in the shop.
Yeah.
This is where the magic happens.
Yeah, so what we try to do here is when the guys unload the car, we try to keep them kind of in their element. The car sits right next to the trailer as it would at the track.
That's interesting point is you brought up, you kind of have your mock pit area as if you're at a competition and race weekend.
Yes, well, the other thing too is we use the tools out of the trailer. So guys are familiar with where all the tools are, and they're kind of more familiar and they're used to working so many steps away from the car. So we still use our trailer as a shop. I tell people all the time, it's not just a hauler.
So it's race weekend. You got a race coming up this weekend locally here, right here in Indianapolis. Here are the guys working. Where should we start our kind of tour? Where should we go next?
Well, I would say go right to the back of the, where we unload the cars, right where the blowers get put together, the engines get assembled.
All right, let's head over there.
All right.
Cruz, we're now back where the heart of the beast gets assembled, put together, and even assessed. If you could break down where are we at here in your shop?
Well, this is the blower area back here, and what they do there is they disassemble each supercharger. We usually have 4 supercharged blowers, as they call them, and we'll rotate them out during the race weekend. So when we get back here at the shop, we'll disassemble them, go through them, make sure the tolerances, everything's right. Usually put what we call plastics, keep the tolerances nice and tight. Then back over here, we have the engine assembly area. So as you can see, we have our Snap-on benches here. They stay here all the time. We do have tools that'll actually work to rebuild engines.
How many blocks do you have?
Well, we try to keep 10 engines. So that's the whole thing with drag racing, and especially nitro racing. You know, we're hard on the parts, so we have to keep enough inventory to keep the whole thing running smoothly.
All those integral parts equate to good technicians, good tools. You have all the pieces. Who should we talk to in regards to a technician?
Start off with blocks. You want to start off with Kyle. He's our engine builder. And then if you want to go to blowers, you'll talk to Dave.
Okay.
And clutches, you'll talk to our expert Jay.
First off, who am I talking to?
Going to talk to Kyle, the engine builder.
All right, let's talk to Kyle.
All right.
Kyle, what's up, man?
Not much. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks for letting us into your office. It's good to kind of work in the environment that you're normally thrashing in race weekend. And you're a young man. How old are you?
22.
22. You just graduated college, from what I understand?
Yep.
And this is your first job. So, man, talk about job placement. Your alma mater has a partnership with Snap-on.
Yeah, University of Northwestern Ohio deals a lot with Snap-on. They're sponsored by them. We used a lot of their tools.
Yeah.
We used all their scan tools. Every single thing I dealt with at that school was Snap-on, and I've dealt with that forever, and I love them. So
Awesome. That's great. Yeah. And right before we started rolling, you said that your dad, your whole family, you guys are, the ranchesse. Where's the tattoo? So what's your role here at Pedregon Racing?
I build short blocks and then service the bottom end in between rounds. My job before, I changed tires, and it was like, yeah, you had somewhat of a time limit versus this, you got to basically rebuild the motor in 45 minutes or less at most, and it's a whole different stress level, but it's still fun.
Yeah. How important is the investment of tools? You're a young man, you grew up with a Snap-on tool in your hand. What would you say to other aspiring technicians such as yourself about the commitment to Snap-on?
It's a life changer. I've dealt with some of the lower hand tools, and just dealing with Snap-on tools, you can definitely feel a difference, especially in the torque wrenches and ratchets. It's an astronomical difference.
Oh, that's awesome.
Some people don't think it is, but in my experience, it's a huge difference.
What tool do you find most in your hand right now, or at the track? What tool do you find in your hand?
Torque wrench.
Torque wrench?
One of my many torque wrenches, I should say.
Yeah.
But because if I don't torque anything right, that could mean the crank falls out the bottom, rod breaks. It could.
The tolerances are just everything.
Yeah.
I can't ignore this thing. Look at
my ginormous.
That thing. It's stout. It is heavy. What is this for? What are you using that on?
I will use this to torque the crank bolt. It'll bolt the crank hub to the actual crank itself, and I torque it to 350 foot-pounds. Definitely helps with leverage.
This thing
is massive and beefy.
Well, thanks again, man. Really appreciate your time, and let you get back to work. It's race weekend. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
But I want to talk blowers next. Who should I talk to?
We'll talk to Dave.
All right, we'll step out of your office, and I'll find Dave. Dave, how are we doing, man?
Good, how are you doing, man?
Good. So we have the Supercharger here. This is an integral part, a lot of horsepower cranking through this thing, and I'm just analyzing this and actually seeing it off of the engine.
Right.
This thing's all CNC billet, but what is your role here, and what are we looking at?
Basically, my role here is to make sure this guy is doing his job, which is getting air into the motor. You
Yeah.
know, that's a very critical part of making horsepower. I got my tolerances that I check every run. Basically, right now, what I'm in the middle of is I was pulling the rotors out, which is what actually spins inside it to create the air vacuum, and restrip those every couple runs just to where everything's fresh and moving the way it should. All it is just some rubber stripping, really, to set your tolerances within the blower here. And
So you talk about tolerances, that's a critical part. As you said, the screws that are in there, the rotors you call them, air sucking through and going.
Right, yeah, our tolerances are about 2 thou, it's that tight. Half a thou difference can be huge. It can cost us horsepower, which at the end of the day costs us time on a racetrack, and that's never good.
Efficiency, time, how important is it to have the right tools? Because you guys have 40 minutes, 50, 70 minutes, but
It's always a time crunch, having the right tools is very critical, not just for the dependability of the tools, but just for routine. First tool I grab when I come in is my impact gun, and if I were to have an issue with that, it'd throw off the whole routine. But with this guy right here, never have any issues. First move I make is pull the top pulley off this thing so we can start getting the motor apart. If I can't get that off, everybody's struggling. So the dependability of this guy right here dictates how our whole service goes.
the struggle bus begins.
That's
So
right.
You're new to the team, you started this year. You said you've been racing your whole life.
Yeah, I've been around sprint car and midget racing basically since the day I was born. Been lucky enough to be working full time on race cars since I graduated high school. A lot of people say you're living the dream, and there's days you wonder that, but at the end of the day, it's hard to beat the way I make a living, and decided drag racing and present a new challenge, and here I am learning all about superchargers.
That's awesome. What would you say to a young aspiring technician that wants to get into motorsports as well as making that investment into Snap-on tools?
Really, it's an investment in your tools is the biggest thing, because dependability will dictate the reliability of your job. And the biggest thing you can do is take your time when you're learning it, make sure you're doing it right. And the second thing is just keep digging, no matter whether you're learning to work on the cars or if you're just cleaning, just keep working hard. And if you show that want to, people will notice it.
Awesome. Well, this is the Supercharger. Another critical part is the clutch. Who should we talk to?
You should go find our man Jay Rice. He's our senior employee here and the man around this place, so he can answer anything you need.
All right, let's find Jay and talk
All
to
right.
Jay. Jay, what's up, man?
How's it going, man?
Yeah, good. Good to see you. We spent some time together here at the shop, so it's good to see you again. We're talking to you about the clutch.
Yes, sir.
Such a critical part.
Very
Talking to Cruz, just the progression from 4 discs, now 6 discs, those tolerances, and I mean, there's a lot that relies on you.
Everything is critical to disc thickness, to from inside out to any taper, to facing thicknesses with the flywheel and the donut and the pressure plate and lever heights, and it all comes down to, it has to be spot on, precision. Everything is precision. Everything rides on the clutch guys. It's all, they always say, oh, it's the clutch guy's fault. Oh, it's the clutch guy's fault. But really the crew chief, the numbers and what he inputs into it is how it's going to react.
Yeah.
And the mechanical weight that we put on the levers.
Right. So there's kind of a brain. I know we've talked about it in previous. Go and look that up right now. Tech Series Nitro Edition a couple years ago. But there's the different modules, and it stages it and staggers it. So it's, you know, what looks to be just a raw engine, there's a lot of technical stuff in there.
There's a lot of computer advancements. I mean, our telemetry on the car, like we monitor like 32 channels, you know, of different things that we monitor, and it's a lot more technologically advanced than most people think.
You get about 3 or 4 runs because you're resurfacing the different discs?
Yeah, I would say a good number would be 3 runs on a disc, because if it's getting three runs, then you know it had 3 good runs.
Yeah.
You know, because you're taking 20 to 30 thousandths off of that disc every run.
Just where Cruz and the Snap-on tool teams is going, how awesome is it to work with Snap-on tools?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, I've been able to work with some other tool manufacturers, and none compare to Snap-on. And what it provides us with, being able to, all of our whole team and everyone being able to do their job precise, not having to worry about looking for tools. We have the stuff on hand, and we're ready to do whatever task comes up.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for your support.
Thank you.
And, you know, good luck this weekend.
Thanks, man.
Cruz, love this car. You're vintage, you're nostalgic racer, all color matched, it looks great. Where are we at here in your shop?
Well, this is where we maintain my California Charger funny car. It's a 5-second, 260 mile per hour nostalgia car. They actually, there's a class for these now. This car actually was a car that actually ran in the 70s. Okay. It was a beautiful paint job. I try to make it exactly like the original car. Pretty proud of it. So we were able to outfit it with some Snap-on tool area, make it match. And I don't have a lot of time to work on this car, do anything with it, but I have it here, so when I do have time, I can spend a little time working on the old Charger.
What tool do you most enjoy working with, or maybe even find in your hand more often than not?
The open end wrenches. I like the open end. I like the chrome. I like the, it's like a little trophy, you know, and obviously Snap-ons are they're the best. They're immaculate. And so I have a little area there right in the center part of the drawer of this toolbox back here. So yeah, that's my favorite tool. And then having screwdrivers in order. This is my own private stash. I don't let anybody in here, so I know the tool's gonna be there when I need it.
Love your shop. You're always such a great host to us. Thank you so much for everything that you do with Snap-on Tools, your relationship with them, and keep it going, and good luck this weekend.
Hi, Jared. Thanks for coming out and checking our shop out. We have one more thing for you to do. Sit in this bad boy and see if you can breathe for a little bit.
I'm down.
All right,
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Woo! That's snug. Thanks for watching this episode of Snap-on Tools Great Garages. Be sure as always to like, share, as well as comment below. What's your favorite form of drag racing?